Hey everyone, got a comparison review for you guys. This is a comparison by request from a brother on Facebook, and he wanted to see a comparison between these two Bibles. This is a Pitt Minion, as you can see from the box below, a black goatskin Pitt Minion ESV. This is an ESV personal size quintel. And dark green goat skin, black goat skin. So they're similar in that regard. They're both goat skin covered. There's not many similarities after that. So we'll go through these things piece by piece. So first we'll look at the size difference. We'll look at the size. The quintel, the PSQ is a little bit bigger. You can see the block's about the same width, but not quite as tall, and definitely not as thick. It's not quite twice as thick, the PSQ, but it's thicker. It's obviously thicker in the hand. It feels thicker. The covers are very, very, very different. So this is a brother's. This is not mine. I don't even own a Pitt Minion. The print size is just too small for me. But this one I'm going to be doing a liner change on, so I'm borrowing my buddy Jeff's Pitt Minion to do this video. So thank you, Jeff. And anyway, so the covers, you have your tooled ribs on the Pitt Minion, just kind of flat. And you have your raised ribs on the PSQ. These are both printed and bound by Youngblood, and you can see the goat skins have similar textures. They're similar in texture, so I mean you're going to be comparable there. But this is the biggest difference. This is why I have this Bible, is to do a liner change and make this an edge lined Bible. This is a paste down liner. Now, from all that I've seen, this liner holds up really well. So everybody that has Pitt Minions that's never replaced the liner, they love them. These have held up really well, but it does add to the stiffness. You can see this. I mean, when I pull it back, it just wants to close. It's just a stiff cover because of that paper liner. So the PSQ is leather lined, and it's a calf skin or calf split, something like that, leather lined, and it's edge lined. So it's much sturdier of a block, or of a binding, much longer lasting. You have the perimeter stitching. It's just a really nice cover, really flexible. Really flexible cover. This is not as flexible, but granted they have two different purposes, and this is more portable because of its size, and some folks just love the styling of the Cambridge with the tooled ribs, and just the text format more than the cover. So anyway, but the cover on the Schuyler is hands down better. Now, before I open them up, this one retails for $185. It's pretty pricey. I think they're on pre-order now at Evangelical Bible for $175. So you can get them for $175 on pre-order, but I think they'll retail at $185. And you can find them used on these Bible groups, especially Everything Bibles. You can find PSQs, and you can find either of these on Facebook for much cheaper than you'd find brand new. But anyway, and the Pitt Minion at Evangelical Bible retails for $155, but it's on sale right now for $115. So it's a pretty good deal right now on the Pitt Minions at Evangelical Bible. So as far as the retail, this one's $30 less than this one. But as far as the actual price now with discounts and all, this one's $60 cheaper than this one. So it's not really comparing apples to apples. And I don't want to be unfair to the Pitt Minion, because it's really not fair to compare it to the PSQ. It's just really tough for them to match up. So when we open it up, like I said, this is these are both printed and bound by Youngblood. I'm excuse me. I'm not exactly sure of the paper density, the GSM on the paper for the Pitt Minion. I know that the GSM for the paper on the PSQ is 28 GSM. The Pitt Minion can't be thicker. I mean, it's probably a 28 or a 26, something comparable. But I just wanted to show you the text size. The Pitt Minion is a 6.75 font, and the PSQ is an 8.5 font. So it's actually slightly bigger than a ESV thin line. Much easier to read, in my opinion. That's why I don't have a Pitt Minion. No offense to anybody that does. They're awesome Bibles. I wouldn't pick it up much because of the small printing. So now the other things about this Bible, you can see the layout's different. You have double column. This is paragraph format, even though in the Psalms it's in verse by verse. But we'll go. Let's go right. You can see the paragraph format there. Center column references. Now the references are maybe a 4. It's hard for me to read these references without my glasses on. Now the Schuyler personal size Quintel is an 8.5 font, double paragraph or double column paragraph format with your references in red, and they're probably a similar font size as the Pitt Minion, maybe a 6, where this is a 6.75. It might be a 6 for the references. So it's just much easier to read, this one, for me personally. I love the Quintel layout. Some folks feel that there are not enough words per line, so it actually makes reading a little choppy for them. For me, it's pretty nice. I really like it. That's just my own personal opinion. But anyway, also in the Pitt Minion is a red letter. Let me get to a gospel, and I'll show you the red letter. There you go. And in the PSQ, it's not a red letter. You can see all black in the Gospel of Matthew. So also, the Pitt Minion has a concordance. You get to the end of Revelation, you can see the concordance. Actually has a bigger font than the text. It's much more readable, much more comparable to the Schuyler personal size Quintel. So you have your concordance, and then you have your maps in the back with no line. You don't have any line paper or anything. Where in contrast, the PSQ doesn't have a concordance. Now the Quintel does, but the PSQ does not. So we're in Revelation, but it does have lined paper in the place of the concordance. So right at the end of Revelation, you can see there's text right there, and then we have lined paper. And you have a good bit of lined paper before you get to the Bible maps. I'd say maybe 10 or 15 sheets of lined paper. I might be overstating that. Then you have your Bible maps, and then you have just some cardstock in the ends right there. So you have a few blank sheets. And then the back liner. Both have 2 ribbons, and that is hilarious compared to those. These little 5mm They're about 5mm ribbons. Not even really. They're not even really a decent ribbon versus two Beresford ribbons, and it's just those aren't really comparable. So for the money, I think it's a better buy. The PSQ is a better buy, but some folks just really like the Pitt Minion. Pitt Minion is a little bit more portable, and I know that some folks they just love Cambridges, and I understand that. But anyway, that's about all I could really show you as far as the comparison. They're just two different Bibles. That's why this is so long. There's so much to show you that's different between the two. That's really based on preference and really pocketbook. If you can afford the PSQ, I would say get the PSQ. It's not much bigger than the Pitt Minion. It's not that much bigger. That it's still a portable Bible. I mean, it's still very portable. But if you can afford a personal size Quintel, I think you would be more pleased with it. Unless you just have issues with the center column, you prefer center column references or something like that, or you really use a concordance a lot. Those kind of things would draw you back to the Pitt Minion. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful for you guys. I've compared a few different Bibles with the PSQ, but I had yet to compare the Pitt Minion. So I'm just really, every time I get this PSQ out, I just love it a little bit more. And nothing against the Pitt Minion. I know it's a great Bible. Just wouldn't be able to read it very long with the small text size. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully that's helpful. God bless.